Hi, this is a small video to show how easy to start developing in AngularJS. Not 1, but AngularJS 2. Angular still is not released yet, but it is getting closer. Let's start. First, let's go to the Angular website. They published a quick start guide. With the help of this guide, we will create a kind of hello world program in Angular 2. There are many ways to create a simple application, but it is important that we set it right in the first time in a way that we can easily scale it up later. In Angular 2, our application consists of modules, and each module can have one or more components. It has its own component architecture. But first step, we need to install Node.js. We need a Node version 5 and above, where NPM is at least version 3. In the Windows, you can download the installer program which will install Node.js on your computer. So we're installing the 6.5. We download it. Just use the basic default settings. Nothing special here. When you installing Node, it may take a while, so I will come back. Okay, it's done. Let's test it. Let's type in a command line node-v. It's 6.5, great. Let's see npm 4. How it takes a bit longer. 3.10, excellent. Next step, we need to create a project folder so we can put the code where we will put the code. I created a folder called Angular Josh Kezdés, uh, and in that folder I created 4 files: package.json, systemconfig.js, tsconfig.js, and typing.js. I just followed the quick guide on the website, an Angular quick start website. We need a text editor like Notepad++. Notepad has a feature open folder workspace. So I search for the project folder I created. It is called Angular Josh Kezdés. We select it. It is in Hungarian, meaning Angular2 Josh, a quick start. We have here the empty folders. You will see. No, empty files. We go to the website and copy the contents to the clipboard and paste to the content on those 4 files. Now after that, let's go through the files. The package.json contains the list of dependencies, modules. You see the Angular dependencies are core.js, reflection, system.js, zone, and so on. Dev dependencies is the dependencies we need only for during development. And after, when the program is running, it's not needed anymore. So okay, the script folder list all the command which we can use in npm on the command line. So the start we will see later how to start the application, and the tsc is we will use when running the TypeScript compiler. AngularJS is written in TypeScript. So TypeScript give types to JavaScript. It is a new language, kind of, and it's not really new. It's coming from Microsoft. It compiles such a new language and compiles to JavaScript. Okay, so when this is all done, then we just go to the command line, back to the command line, and type npm install. We need internet connection for this, and depending how fast is it and how fast your computer, it will take, it may take a couple of seconds or minutes, maybe minutes. So I will come back when it's done. Okay. Okay, it's done. So we now have the development environment set up. We can now start writing the code. All the files needed to write our application is downloaded, all the dependencies. We create a new app folder inside our project folder, and let's call it app.modules.ts, following the guide. The TypeScript will compile this and creates a JS program, in our case in the same folder. But now just copy and paste to a new file called app.modules.ts. So we're creating, after this, we are going to create a component which and then link the component to this module. But first, just we create a module. So AngularJS is consists of modules. Application consists of modules, and modules contains components. So we see here the module files that we just created, and we import the Angular browser modules because our application will foot on the browser, and export app modules we will use later. We will see later. So now we create a component, and we're following the recommended naming conventions that each module files should contains the file name should contains components modules, and each component file should contains a file name should contains the component inside. Now this is a we're using the Angular component decorator. This is a TypeScript uh, that we have to import all features what we use in other places. This is used for the compiler to know to resolve the dependencies. So now we have the component, but our module doesn't know about it. So somehow we have to make a link. So we have to import the component inside our modules. So we said a module can have more than one component. We now just have one component. And so you see the exporting in each file we have importing something. At the end we export what we want other places to be able to reference it. So inside this ngd module decorator, we add this application component. And also because this component will be part of the bootstrap, um, we, we, we add this bootstrapped metadata to the module. And then we say this component is part of the bootstrap. Now we have the modules and a link to a component, but AngularJS doesn't know it about how. So we need a bootstrap file. Um, but sometimes it's called main.ts. So for this one, the quick guide is, I'm just following the guide. It says main.ts, but we can call also boot. I see somewhere it's called boot.ts. So here we import the app modules we just created and pass it in, calling the Angular bootstrap function, which actually will. That's how we make link between Angular2 and our modules, and then modules contains the components. So this is all great, but our application will start with get method with the HTML get, and we create an index.html, which the entry point from the whole application will start when someone links to a link to this index.html file. So this will be only with once, and this is not in the app folder. Is it in the project folder? And this will load all the modules JS file to the browser which will need it, which has all the component, and it's using the system uh, library. And then you see the map. My dash app. This is a selector, our module selector. So the selector, the Angular, when you see this in the HTML, is going to replace with the template. Just below that line, you see the my first AngularJS application should go here because this is like a hello world kind of application. But you can have more complicated logic inside that loading. So if your application takes longer, then you will see loading until the application is done and ready to display. So we're adding a master style sheet inside the project folder. Each component can its own style, we will see later. But just creating one style sheet here. So you can have like common styles. So after that, we just go back and start the application with npm start. So first it will compile all the TS. Oops, there is an error in app.modules.ts line 8, column 3. Expected a comma somewhere. So let's see what's happening. Okay, I see that a comma is missing when I missed that comma when I copied the line below. So because it's a list, we need to add that comma on that line 7, yes. And now we can try the other command, npm run, like we just want to compile now, we don't want to run the server. So ts run tsc, and this will compile, see if there's any error or errors happens. Hopefully there is no errors, great. And now we can start the application. Now it will go through all the steps specified on a package.json file and the start script. Remember at the beginning we talked about the start script, and then we'll start a browser automatically load. I didn't touch anything. Loading, you see the loading, and then we see my apps. Now, a nice feature about this that it's this you see the application is still running. The server is running. So if you modify any of the files in the project folder, let's see what to modify. Yeah, let's modify the component. Where is the component? And so we expect automatically updating the application. Yeah, there's a component here, and change this text, which to let's say hooray, siker, success. So we write it sikerült. This is Hungarian meaning success. And see if we save these files, it automatically should be reloaded on the browser, and we see that. Okay, this is the hello world kind of application. And thanks for listening.